In this lecture, we'll have a brief introduction about CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. CSS is a language that we use to style an HTML document. In a web page, all the elements are created using HTML language, whereas CSS handles how and where all these elements in the web page should be displayed. So, to put it in simple words, HTML is used to create the web page contents and CSS is used to position and style the web page contents. Okay, there are three ways to include CSS in a web page. We'll see that in detail in our next lecture. So now first I'm going to use style tag inside head tag to include CSS, to write the CSS code. So we'll see this with an example, so it will be better to understand. So using style tag inside the head tag and writing CSS code, it is one way of including CSS. So I'm going to use style tag, open style tag and close style tag. In between this style tag, we are going to write the CSS code. So I'll just indent this style tag a little bit here so that it will be easy to read. Okay, and this is a new file. So I don't have any elements in my web page. So I'm going to include some elements. I'm going to add some heading elements. H1, Introduction to CSS. And I'll include some more heading elements. H3. This is heading 3. Heading 3. And one more paragraph. Yeah. This is a paragraph. Okay, so let me save this file and I'll open this to see the output. Okay, here is the output for our code. So we have a heading element, heading 1, H1 element, H3 element and a paragraph. But we have not applied any style with it. So I'm going to the Sublime Text Editor and here we are going to use CSS to add styles. So as I told you before, inside style tag, we are going to add styles. So inside style tag, first we want to decide which element we want to apply the style. So in this example, say I want to make the H1 heading element, its font color to red. I want to make the heading H1 heading elements font color to red. So the element to select is H1. H1 and what I want to make color red. So this part I am highlighting, H1 color red. This is called as CSS rule. A CSS rule consists of a selector and a declaration block. Selector is something which says which is the element that needs to be styled. That is, selector points to the HTML element we want to style. And inside this flower bracket, this is called as declaration block. This declaration block contains one or more CSS properties and values. So here we have only one CSS property and value. So we have a semicolon, that is, we can have multiple CSS properties and values, but each property value pair should be separated by a semicolon. So I'm going to give another property, background color. Maybe I'll give yellow. So this CSS rule has selector H1, that is, this is for H1 heading element, and in the declaration excuse me. Okay, and in the declaration block we have two property values, CSS property value pairs. The first one, color red, it's going to make the text color red, and the second one, background color yellow, is going to make the background color of the heading yellow. Okay, so and this CSS style will be applied only to the H1 element. We have 3 elements in the web page, H1, H3 and P. But we notice we are styling only the H1 heading. So this style will be applied only to the H1 heading. And let's look at the output. See, now the heading element has font color red and background color yellow. So let me include another heading, H1, somewhere below the paragraph, H1. This is second H1 element. Okay, what will be the output now? Yes, now both the text introduction to CSS and this line, this is second H1 element, both will be styled with color red, that is color means font color, text color, and background color yellow. Because this H1 is the selector, this selector will select all the elements in the tag H1, that is having the tag H1. Okay, let's save this and refresh. So now we can see all the, we have 2 H1 elements, both the H1 elements has the background color yellow and font color red. Okay, so this is just a basic introduction into CSS. In our next lecture, we will be learning about different ways to include CSS in a web page. Thank you.